Anthony and Air podcast back for another episode. On this show, we're going to discuss Ghislaine Maxwell and her defense, how they have dropped their witness list. No recap today, but still pretty big news in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial saga. So we'll talk about that for sure. Here in New York, we have a new mask mandate, but the Nassau County Executive elect is rejecting this mask mandate. Big news coming down just prior to our podcast. We'll get into it with Jay Sabs, who is on the way shortly. Mark Meadows' text messages have been released. Liz Cheney reads them out. We'll share that with you. Elon Musk is Times Person of the Year. Chris Wallace is leaving Fox News. New Zealand has decided to ban tobacco. And we've got some Sex in the City Peloton fiasco to discuss. Spoiler alert, if you have not watched, and just like that, the new Sex in the City remake, we are going to be talking about some huge plot points here. So just be aware that when this comes back on your screen, or when we warn you, turn down your audio, turn off your video. We'll certainly be understanding. We are going to be discussing some spoiler alerts there. And of course, we have a Whamageddon update. Somebody on the show has been eliminated. Let's get into Ghislaine Maxwell. Big news today. The defense team for Ghislaine Maxwell released a letter. We'll pop it up on the screen for you here. Julie K. Brown, the wonderful journalist who has basically started all of this Epstein, she was the one, Miami Herald, who blew all this up to begin with. So we'll go with her tweet to share that with everybody. This is the letter that Bobby Sternheim sent to the court today, discussing who the defense was going to call. Now, a few interesting things here, and this is why this is really super, super important. One, the defense has not let the government know, the prosecutors know, who they plan on calling and in what order they plan on calling them in. That might not sound like a big deal, but it kind of is if you're planning, if you're planning out how to cross-examine some of these witnesses. You kind of need to know and be prepared. They haven't let them know yet. And if you read in this letter here, let me read this letter. They're basically saying that they're still trying to make travel arrangements, and that's why. I mean, the defense of Ghislaine Maxwell is using every sneaky, technically sound, but scumbaggy move that a defense team could possibly use. Here's the letter from Bobby Sternheim to Judge Allison Nathan. I write to inform the court that the defense has provided the government with a tentative order of the first several defense witnesses. She dropped this yesterday. So the entire 2 weeks came. They hadn't given them an order. Yesterday, they give a tentative order. We have informed the government that we will still try to make travel. We are still trying to make travel arrangements for defense witnesses, many of whom are coming from locations out of the district and abroad, and we have not been able to reach counsel for some of the witnesses over the weekend. We further informed the government that the order of the witnesses is subject to change, and we will advise the government if we think the order will change as travel plans solidify. This is pretty unprecedented. We also informed the government that 3 of the defense witnesses have requested to testify under their first names or under pseudonym. The government opposes this request. The court's ruling on this issue may impact the willingness of these witnesses to testify, thereby compromising Ms. Maxwell's right to present her defense and may affect the witness order. So basically they're saying 3 of our witnesses want to testify under a pseudonym. If you don't grant this, they may not testify. And if they don't testify, it's difficult for Ms. Maxwell to present her defense. They're kind of using this as a scapegoat of, well, if you don't let us do this, then it's all compromised because these are key witnesses, and without them, she can't possibly win. It's an interesting tact. Now, Julie K. Brown asked the question, have they ever seen this before? From what I can tell, the only time this has been allowed is in terrorist crimes, terrorist court cases, where covert agents, CIA agents and such, have been allowed to testify anonymously. Outside of that, I couldn't at least find any sort of instance before this. So make of this what you will. Court is coming back in session on Thursday. I'm sure Judge Allison Nathan will rule on this. either before then or morning of. Again, I would guess she would do it before then because balls in the defense's court. Their case starts on Thursday. Other alarming thing here. The defense, it's not in this letter, but the defense plans to call 35 witnesses in response to the prosecution's case. That is 11 more witnesses than the prosecution called. 35. That's 11 more than the prosecution. I don't know who these people are, but that is a big case. We thought, oh, maybe this thing is going to be done a smidge early. Who really knows? But it looks like now this might continue to go on for quite some time. 35 witnesses. What up, J Sabs?
What up?
11 more witnesses than the prosecution. That's huge news in the Ghislaine Maxwell thing. Let's talk about Jumpstart Coffee Company. I want to get them in early. J Sabs is here for the Jumpstart of this show, which I could tell was already trailing off, even though it's only 6 minutes old. I've been sucking down Jumpstart. In fact, I topped off my bag that I had on the desk.
You've been sucking off who?
I've been sucking down.
Oh,
Jumpstart Coffee Company.
Nice.
Like nobody's business, kid. Like nobody's business.
I hear you.
Thank you. Save 15% when you order with the promo code AOA15. People have been ordering like crazy, like mad, J Sabs. The reviews continue to come in. Again, all of them are completely positive. We still haven't received a bad review on the Jumpstart Coffee Company. Latest comes from Holly Stockinger, who says, and I quizzote, bought Jumpstart Coffee Company for my dad. He loves it.
Oh, see?
There you go. See? Way to go, Holly. Daughter of the year right there.
She's probably the favorite daughter right now.
I would say so. Holly, if you have any sisters or brothers, they're fucking useless. Good for you.
Maybe I should buy some for my dad since maybe one day I'll be the favorite child.
I wish you would, because clearly you're not right now. Everybody really loves your brother more than you.
Definitely.
And when I say everybody, I mean your parents, your extended family.
That's it.
All your friends. And your husband.
You really like Nick better than me? No, that's not possible.
It's close.
Okay.
You know what? We'll have to tackle this one day on the show. Who would we save? If you're both hanging off a cliff, who do I let go to save the other? I don't know. It'll be close. It'll be close. But you know what? If I have some Jumpstart coffee, I'll be able to pick you both up, no matter, even though it's a hypothetical situation.
Exactly.
Thank you. Save 15% when you use the promo code AOA15. The reason why everybody loves Jumpstart Coffee Company is because it tastes great and they also support a great cause. That'd be the Navy SEAL Foundation. Wow. 50% of their profits go to the Navy SEAL Foundation. So if you enjoy your freedoms and you love the armed forces, get some Jumpstart Coffee Company right now. People are ordering it like crazy for the office, for grab bags, Secret Santa. Get a couple of bags in there, use the promo code. You're up at like $20-$25, which is usually the limit for the Secret Santas. It's a win-win all around. Order Jumpstart Coffee with a link in the description below this episode or the homepage of AnthonyOnAir.com.
If like you said, the Secret Santas, if you're going for that Santa vibrator or the Jumpstart Coffee, it's a hard one. No pun intended, but you got to go for that Jumpstart.
Well, one's a hard one.
The other one's ground up. It's a very, very hard one. But
yeah. Did you see that text I sent everybody with Demi Lovato selling adult toys?
No, I didn't see it.
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't.
Nobody commented on it. Everybody must have missed it. I popped on Instagram the other day, and there was just Demi Lovato with this, like, I'm selling vibrators ad, and it was kind of like, that's an odd thing to be pushing for Demi Lovato.
Yeah, really.
Like it used to be like
unless it was for vibrators for aliens, then I get it.
Equal opportunity.
Kiss me.
It was Demi's Demi's naughty list. She said she was giving away thousands of free vibrators and gift cards and more to everyone who signs up for her naughty list. And then she tweeted or Instagrammed a picture of a Christmas tree. And there's
That's my kind of tree.
Again, I'm not judging anybody on this. It's just this was Sunday morning. I was scrolling and I just happened to come across this and I was like, this is an odd Sunday morning thing. But okay, demiclaws.com.
That is okay.
Yeah, free plug for Demi today. She gave us plenty of material with the alien bit.
Right.
We owe her a plug. Quickly before we get to the mask mandate, Whamageddon. Frank is out.
He's out. Yep.
Got
I'm still
Whamageddon
in.
yesterday. You're still in?
Yep.
Well, you're the podcast champion. You're the last one standing.
What do
on the
I
show.
win? What do I win? That tree?
Yeah. Good news. Demi Claus is coming to visit you, J Sabs. Pick out whichever one you want. It's on us. Also, I need to address this with you. Robin wrote in the comments or tweeted me a couple hours ago. Please let J Sabs know I didn't diss her last show. We were talking in the chat when my wife had to seek shelter with tornadoes getting closer.
Oh my God.
Did Robin up and leave you?
I don't know. I can't remember. I mean, it was late that night.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, Robin.
That's fine, Robin.
Let us know in the chat if you're okay.
Tornado, answering Janine back. I mean, I could see where it gets a little tricky.
That is true. Well, I know he's okay because he tweeted us, but I hope your property and everything is okay.
Right.
Mask mandate. Did you see this? The new Nassau County exec? Look how excited you are. You're thrilled.
Mama's moving to Nassau. No.
All right, so those who don't know, we're going to give you your opinion, but for those who don't know, on Friday, the governor of New York announced that there would be a mask mandate in effect starting today, Monday the 13th, all the way to January 15th. Her reasoning was the surge in numbers, the fact that there are hospital beds that are hard to come by. I don't think she said Omicron, but everybody's saying Omicron for everything. Omicron. And she basically said no matter what your vaccine status is, vaccinated or not, if you're in a public indoor place, restaurant, theater, whatever, arena, you have to wear a mask.
Unless they have a vaccine mandate policy anyway.
Thank you. Unless the business mandates a vaccine, in which case then nobody has to wear a mask and everybody can just walk in with their vaccine cards.
Makes sense. Go ahead.
Now, of course, we just had an election in November. And Nassau County voted out Democrat Laura Curran and voted in Republican Bruce Blakeman, who said, and I quote, "Come January 1st, my administration will move Nassau forward with a common sense approach that acknowledges the facts. We will not enforce the statewide mask mandate starting January 1st. Here's the common sense knowledge approach. Science and progress made, a common sense approach that acknowledges the facts, science, and progress made by our residents while also protecting businesses and jobs from any further damage created by the government mandates. Nassau County is not in crisis and should not be painted with the same broad brush that the rest of the state is. 97% of adults in Nassau County have received at least their first dose of the vaccine, and Nassau hospitals have adequate capacity to handle existing demand." 2 hours after that, current Nassau County executive Laura Curran, through a spokesperson, said, and I quote, "The Nassau County Health Department will respond to complaints regarding the mask or vaccine mandate. Nassau County Executive Laura Curran's administration will not actively enforce a mask or vaccine mandate." A spokesperson for Suffolk County, by the way, on if they will implement a mask or vaccine mandate, said, "Yes, as we have done in the past, our enforcement will be first and foremost centered around educating local businesses and residents about the latest information and guidance." So it looks like Suffolk County is going to stick with it, but Nassau County won't.
Well, I'm sorry to say, at least I'm on the border of Nassau County. Sorry. Yeah.
You're happy.
Well, I'll be honest with you. And like I said Friday, I think a lot of people are pissed off and are not going to comply. And today I saw that. Yes, I know it's their first day, but There was a lot of people not wearing masks, including myself. I know people shit on me for that, but I wasn't going to, and I didn't. And the people who were wearing their mask, uh, I'd say 80% of them were not wearing it the correct way. They were wearing it around their chin or underneath their nose.
Mm-hmm.
So people are pissed. People have had enough. And also, back to Friday.
Look how happy you are. I'm glad you can have your little victory, your
I mean,
victory lap
it's
right
not
now.
really a victory because, well, here there's a lot of things that don't make sense.
Go ahead.
Like,
I won't
for
interrupt.
one, oh, you're not interrupting. Hochul, whatever how you say her name, she said it's up to the county to decide, but yet she wants everyone to do it. Okay, so that means any county can say that they don't want to do it, so then it's not mandated
Did she really
anywhere.
say that? Because I
Yes,
didn't
she
see
did.
that. See, that was buried then.
She did, and it is on the website too, like her, you know, governor or whatever website. It says it's up to the county. So if the county says no, because there's already 3 or 4 in New York that said we're definitely not going to do that. So not going to do it. Nassau's not going to do it. The other thing was, and I was afraid it would happen, that some places are they're not doing no mask policy. It's either you're vaccinated or you can't come in, because they don't want to deal with people constantly telling them that they have to put their mask on. So,
Oh, that's interesting.
yep.
But you have to be a business that's prepared to take that hit financially.
I'm going to tell you after we hang up because you know some of them.
Okay, but here's what's interesting about that too, though. I mean, in Nassau County, if we're to believe 97%, that's not much of a risk. You're not really taking much into your hands. But elsewhere, you probably are, because that's, again, I just don't know if there are many businesses left after the last year and a half that could take a hit.
Or could just take a chance. But the thing is, so I saw a very prominent one, a brewery, today post, and I wanted to know why. Like, I'm not, and I said I'm not being snarky. What was your reasoning for this? Is it because you don't want to, like, deal with having to constantly ask people, or do you not want to have, like, get into fights with people? Like, what is the reason? And I'm being like, I'm not being bitchy. I genuinely want to know. Like, I want to know why you decided to do this, because in Nassau and Suffolk, that's not like a law, but in the city it is.
Right.
So we'll see, because again, today I went on a massive amount of Instagram and Facebook restaurants and bars and breweries to see what they had to say. And a lot of them said, like, unfortunately, we have to comply. If you're not actively eating or drinking, you have to wear your mask. Then there are some that said, we're just going to go to a vaccinated only crowd. And then I did see 2 or 3 that said, we're not complying. We don't care if we get fined.
Yeah.
So that was, I know that.
Well, so because we're technically a small business, we get all the newsletters and bullshit and everything. And every one of them said that, like, every one of them was talking about the $1,000 fine.
Yep. Wait, hold on.
That if they catch you, that you can get $1,000 fine.
Yep.
So I think most of the businesses we saw around here were kind of like, well, we don't want to do this, but we certainly don't want to get fined either. So here
But
it
then
is.
there's a lot of places that said they don't care.
Yeah,
That they'd rather get fined.
I'll tell you what, this guy, what's his name? Blakeman? Bruce Blakeman. Good name. I mean, it sounds like the guy on Channel 4, the sports newscaster there. I mean, he basically changed the game by saying, like, hey, if he's not going to do it, the current one has no then pressure in doing it. And I don't know what Suffolk County is thinking, but how much longer can they hold on if the neighbors are? And by the way,
Exactly.
you said this, and let me also pat myself on the back, but I kind of said this too, which is if upstate is suffering, cut it all into regions.
Exactly. Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
Why do we have to do that if all the numbers down here aren't that bad?
Yep. It
I
doesn't
mean,
make sense.
Frank brought up the fact that it was 6% of 3 million, which is like 180,000, which okay, it's 180,000 is a big number, but in the grand scheme of things, it's still 6% of the population.
Right. But the thing is too, I mean, yeah, when masks were first mandated in stores, I feel like people were scared, like, and they felt like they absolutely had to do it. And
Mm.
now that's changed because, like I said, there was people not wearing masks or wearing them incorrectly, and nobody was saying anything to anyone. And I went to CVS, and I know you don't like going in there without the mask. Well, you said you haven't worn one, but you feel like you should because it's not that you want to get COVID, you just don't want to get what the person next to you has.
Yeah, I don't
Get
want
it.
to get fucking sick.
And I went to the mall.
As a germaphobe too, the
I know
idea of
you are.
somebody else's like snot molecules entering my face, it just disgusts me greatly.
So, and then I went to the mall and I went to a few different stores in there. And
Today,
yep,
and nobody was wearing a mask in the mall.
I would say, God,
Where'd you go? You don't have to say it by name. Was it the big one by
no,
us?
um,
Was it closer to
it was closer to
Warren's?
me.
Closer to you. A South Shore one?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, like,
It's lawless down there anyway.
yeah, no,
Nobody goes
right.
to that mall really.
I am curious if the direction was don't say anything. Had to have been because you don't want to get into a fight with someone. Like if you're a 16-year-old kid and you're working at a store, do you really want to get into a fight with someone over that?
Mm-hmm. Well, we did kind of ponder this. Like, are people really gonna comply? Are they really gonna go along with it this time? I mean, I think that will change if they start throwing around these $1,000 fines. But again, if the executive of the county is like, we're not going to enforce this,
Exactly. So then they're going to pull back probably.
there's no threat there. Then there's no
Right.
reason to comply.
Right.
And this is going to make it worse for business owners because the business owners that are like, well, we want our people to be safe. People are going to be like, there's no reason for this. You're being over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a real win-win. This was all a lot easier when it was on the government, when it was the government's fault in the beginning and people were like,
Just blame them.
Because if you look at most of the social tweets, like all the social media that came out today, most businesses, their tone of voice was like, we don't love this, but we don't want to get fined either. We don't have a choice.
Yeah, I'd tell you right now, nobody wants this. Nobody wants this except Frank, but nobody wants this.
Well, and the thing is like, okay, like when you go to a sporting event, that's one thing. You're all kind of like piled on top of each other. But like restaurants, bars, you're wearing that mask for a really short amount of time before you get to your table and take it off.
Right, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense. Is that what you're trying to say? Like you're walking through there and it's so quick. To me, it doesn't make sense because whether you're standing or sitting, and I saw a lot of that wording today too. If you're standing, then you have to wear one. But if you're sitting, you don't have to.
Yeah. Well, I think it's harder for bars because bars, again, like a sporting event, okay, that's one thing. But restaurants, like you said, you just walk through and you take it off and that's it. I mean,
It's just.
and nothing was said about 6 feet apart and like
No.
none of that is being talked about anymore, which is
No.
kind of was a key to all of it. I mean, I don't know. This felt really strange from the beginning, on one. And again, if this is okay, now let me ask you this. If there's a shortage of beds in it, if that's going on in upstate, do you think they're right to do it up there?
I mean, but here's my question though. If there's so many people that are vaccinated, then why is there a shortage of beds? And that's what no one could really answer. And they're saying it's the unvaccinated. But if there's so many that are vaccinated, then why?
Well, because I mean, I think it is all. I think it's mostly the unvaccinated because you're talking about. I mean, how many beds are in a hospital, really?
See, and
A
what the
few
thing is,
hundred.
it's every hospital is so different. That's the whole thing. Like upstate hospitals don't even compare to the small hospitals here. They don't. That's why it's like each region has to be specific to each region because or even each hospital, honestly.
Hmm. I'm not gonna lie. I
Because
didn't even think they had hospitals up there. I thought they just had mud and pickup trucks.
some of them don't some of them it's like a 50-bed hospital, which is nothing. It's
Exactly.
nothing.
Exactly.
So and if you have a lot of old people up there, well then they're going to be in the hospital too. So how do you determine which is
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look, I mean, I feel like we're at 6%, whatever. You start kicking up around 10, 12, 15%, and things are going really bad, okay, fine, I get it, and I understand that maybe she's trying to head that off. But again, I mean, if that's just for I mean, again, if it's upstate, leave it upstate. I think I don't know. And now, because here's the thing, and I know people that are going to get upset because they're like, well, then you're not being safe for your people. uh, I could contest. I can agree to that. I can consent to that. But now you're in a position where you have no authority. It's kind of like us as parents, right? Like you yell at your kids and you're like, holy shit, when they find out we really can't do anything here. Like I tell my kids to go to their room and shit, and it's like, there's no real, like, if they said no, what would I do? Yell
Beat the
louder?
shit out of them. Go
No, I
ahead.
mean, I mean, it's so funny the power that, because they're so young now, but I just know that when they're like 8 and 10 and 12, like, we're fucked. Like,
Yep.
we have no power. And
Yep.
now I feel like that's the same thing with the governor. Like, you put this out there, and if you don't have that ability to kind of like back it up, you've rendered yourself completely useless.
Well, the thing is, in the city, it's a little different too because for restaurants and entertainment, that's already in place. You know, like because you don't, they're not gonna see. That's why it doesn't make sense because vaccinated people can still spread it to each other and they could still get it.
Well,
That's the number one thing.
true, but it's also different in the city because of how dense it is,
Oh well, yeah,
and also how many people you have traveling from other places into this one place. Like
right.
nobody's visiting, fucking Oneonta. You know what I mean? Like nobody's fucking going to Binghamton, really.
No, but what I mean is, if they're so concerned about it, then they should have a mask policy in the restaurants and entertainment then.
Nobody has been, even though they know vaccinated can transmit to vaccinated. They have never done the mask thing in that amongst that population. They've never done it. When you're right, the logic would say you should still probably be
No,
wearing it.
and that's what I'm saying. They haven't. They
Yeah.
haven't done that. So I don't know.
Again, I
It's
think the argument there would be though is that when you're even if you're getting it, you're still not. You're
right.
still not. I still think that it protect. I still believe that it does protect you because I was in a room with somebody. Again, it was kind of close on the amount of time, but he had it and I didn't get it. And I feel like
Oh,
there was I could be wrong. We could find out that this is totally false, but I feel like there really isn't any. And also, not only me, but another person that I knew was there as well, and was much closer to that person. Who's also that person was that she was vaccinated, and she did not get it.
I mean, right. But here's the thing, though. Like for me personally, I'm not scared of getting it. I'm not, and maybe that's why. I know you probably think that's crazy, but I'm just not.
I don't think it's that crazy.
I'm not. So I think if I got
I
it,
just want you on the team, Janine. I just feel like if we're all going to be programmed by Bill Gates, we should all just go for it together as a group of friends.
write out this life together.
Yeah. If we all go down, what do you want to be? By yourself, without all of us here?
Absolutely.
In a wasteland of nothingness with every
1,000%.
That's not going to be any fun.
The one last thing that people are upset about too, which you have to wear a mask in the gym again, which a lot of people said they weren't going to do. And I can't, like, honestly, I could not see myself wearing a mask while working out. Nope.
I can't see myself working out. So
I know
I'm
you can't, but I could not. First of all, the rashes and people I've gotten because you're sweating underneath that, it's not good for you. So they just say it's like very, very uncomfortable. So people are canceling their gym memberships, and that's, yep. It just hurts. This whole thing just hurts business owners, and especially small business owners. So they're stuck in a hard place again. That's what you said.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I guess, again, this is day one, so you got to think like I didn't catch any of the 6 o'clock news or the 10 o'clock news, but I'm sure probably there was some stories about it on our local news channels. I'm sure there will be even more tomorrow, and by Wednesday, we'll probably have a really good idea of how it's really going.
Right, because I said it's the first day. I don't know, like people,
I mean, if you were walking around several stores and you didn't see anybody with it on,
I'd say maybe 30% of people, but most of them were not wearing it the correct way. So,
can I confess something? I wore mine on Sunday.
I
know.
Pussy, where'd you go?
All right, here's what happened.
And Why?
I know. Okay, this is what happened.
You're gonna rile me up. Go ahead.
This is gonna, and Frank won't let me tell the story because it might sound like I'm pumping my own ego, but I swear to you, this is 100% true. During the week, I'm coming out of CVS, maskless, and somebody spots me and starts talking to me. Very nice guy in a white van. But can I just say something to people? When you approach me in white vans and you don't identify who you are, I don't know what I'm in for. Like people don't get that when they have nice things to say. Like sometimes people don't have such nice things to say, and it can be a little scary. So you have to kind of be like on alert. This gentleman was very kind. It was very, very nice. I just didn't know who the hell he was, but he had lovely things to say about me. You know what he says? He goes, "Oh, what's going on with the radio thing?" And I said, "Well, actually, the radio, because locally, if I'm spotted, it's because of the radio shows,
right?
Not because of this." But in these particular cases, 2 out of the 3 cases, actually, this guy was like, "I was like, oh, well, the radio thing is a podcast." He's like, "Oh, no, I know." He's like, "I watch all the time." I was like, "Oh, cool, thanks." I was like, "Next time, know that you're like showing up in a white van and it's scary. I'm coming out of fucking CVS buying a kombucha, which is a little embarrassing,
Oh God. You should just end the show right now.
So I was like, I wish I was wearing a mask then. Okay, so Sunday I go out to Home Depot, spotted there as well. Same thing.
Okay, I'll give you a pass. I'll give you a pass because I know why you wore the mask on. You wore the mask because you didn't want to be spotted. I get it.
No, I wasn't wearing a mask. I got spotted I wasn't wearing the mask. I got spotted in Home Depot, which is embarrassing because I walk around Home Depot like I'm an unqualified man. Like I don't know where everything is.
Holes. Okay.
And I'm never getting anything like manly. It's always like a dainty. Like I got like a hook for, like a coat hook thing. Then I went to Michael's. Do you know, like the craft store, the art store?
You definitely had to wear a mask there. Go ahead.
And then after I got spotted at Michael's, I had to go to Petco or PetSmart, wherever I went. And then I wore a mask at the PetSmart. I was like, this has got to stop.
You're like, I'm buying. Wait, what were you doing in PetSmart?
In PetSmart?
Yeah.
Fish. I was buying fish for the kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because our fish died.
A
month ago, and the tank has just been empty and running, and the kids go like, "Where are the fish?" And my wife is like, "Oh, they're hiding," and they're just like, "Oh, okay." And they've been literally walking past an empty tank for a month. and I couldn't stop running the filter because then if we stopped running the filter, like we felt like the
Yeah.
facade would be gone. So I was aggravated that I was running a filter every night for fish that no longer existed. So I was like, I'm just gonna go out and buy new fish.
Oops.
Yeah, that was basically that. So
Well,
I will be honest with you. I wore a thing on Sunday, and I kind of had this little thought in my head of like, maybe this won't be so. Not like I get spotted all the time. It is unnecessary to think this way, but
you wore it because you didn't want to get spotted and have to talk to people. And you know what? That's a good enough reason for me. Other than other reasons, no, that's a good reason.
being spotted in Michael's is not a manly. That's not a
Say no more.
I was in the fucking fake plant section where you can make like the wreaths and things.
Oh God.
It's bad. It was a bad look, J Sabs. It's a bad look. Speaking of bad luck, Mark Meadows. Did you hear about this?
No.
He let a bunch of. They asked him to come and testify about the January 6th deal, and
Okay.
he at first agreed and then pulled back on it and decided that he wasn't going to do it. But he gave out a bunch. He already gave the committee a bunch of text messages, and Liz Cheney read the text messages out loud today, and it was from all the Fox News people
Oh God.
and Donald Trump Jr. Urging the president to stop what was happening at the Capitol. And as we all know, he didn't react for like 2.5 hours or whatever it was. Do you want to hear these text messages?
Oh God.
All right, let me bring it up here. All right, this is Liz Cheney. She's reading out the text messages. These are all the Laura Ingraham, Brian Kilmeade. It's like a Fox, highlight reel.
According to the records, multiple Fox News hosts knew the president needed to act immediately. They texted Mr. Meadows.
Boy, this Liz Cheney, I'll give her credit. Like, she's basically on her way out of a job in the Republican Party.
Right.
She's sticking with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he has turned over those texts. Quote, Mark, the president needs to tell people in the Capitol to go home. This is hurting all of us. He is destroying his legacy, Laura Ingraham wrote. Please get him on TV, destroying everything you have accomplished, Brian Kilmeade texted. Quote, can he make a statement? Ask people to leave the Capitol, Sean Hannity urged. As the violence continued, one of the president's sons texted Mr. Meadows, quote, he's got to condemn this shit ASAP. The Capitol Police tweet is not enough, Donald Trump Jr. texted. Meadows responded, quote, I'm pushing it hard. I agree.
So his text messages got read.
Oh.
Not a great look for Trumpy Trumpkins.
No.
And they just slapped him with a subpoena, too, because he was going to testify. And then Trump said, you don't have to go. You're under executive privilege. So he was like, all right, fuck it. I'm not going to go. And now they hit him with a subpoena. So we'll see where he winds up.
Oh, oops.
But he could wind up doing some jail time for that.
Oops.
Yeah, big old oops. Chris Wallace is out at Fox News, too. He made the announcement Sunday on his show. 18 years with Fox News. He is leaving to go to CNN Plus.
Oh, really?
Not even CNN Plus.
That's okay.
It's actually not so much a political move. He said he kind of wants to explore the world outside of the political walls, and they'll let him do that on CNN Plus.
Is that like special reports? Just
I think it's like, who's fucking watching CNN Plus?
Yeah,
so go there and do whatever you want, and hopefully some of the audience will follow you.
All right.
I don't know. I feel like Chris Wallace's audience is like older, and I don't know how.
I think he's more respected, right?
He's very well respected. Yeah. I mean, he questioned Donald Trump, and Republicans, the Trumpy people didn't like that. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
He slid a little and lost some credibility with them, but I feel like most Republicans and conservatives still respect him greatly.
Okay.
And then he won a bunch of people over on the left because, of course, he questioned Donald Trump. So they were like, this guy must be good.
Right.
New Zealand is banning tobacco. You think you have it bad. You got to wear a mask for 5 seconds. They can't even get a cigarette in New Zealand anymore.
Well, cigarettes do kill you.
Yeah.
I don't like you know how I feel about smoking anyway, but
No, you don't like smoking?
I don't like cigarette smoke. To me, is like one of the most disgusting smells ever.
I agree.
I can't take it.
I will enjoy the occasional cigar, and will wake up the next morning and go, ugh, this is awful.
Yeah, it's
But I
gross.
still do it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But have you ever made out with somebody who was a smoker?
No.
Okay, I have. It sucks. It's not kissing somebody who just had a cigarette is
I'm getting nauseous right now.
It's really like licking an ashtray. Like it really, that's like the cliche joke, but it's very, very true. It is.
Yeah,
like
no
licking an
thanks.
ashtray.
No thanks.
Yeah. I will I maybe more than one, I don't know, but I distinctly remember kissing one girl outside of a club once right after she smoked a cigarette, and it was fucking disgusting.
You were like, ew.
I was just like, this is awful. I mean, I know it's just a cigarette, but still I couldn't be bothered with it.
No.
It's an interesting way they're doing it too. It's not going to happen overnight. They're going to raise the legal smoking age each year so that people that are born after 2008 will never be allowed to smoke.
Wow, that's funny. Okay.
Yeah, isn't that strange?
That is.
I wonder if there's even a reason to smoke anymore. Like,
I don't know. You have marijuana, so.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like now that weed has gone into gummies and chocolate and cookies and butter and like
garlic.
What?
Garlic.
Is there garlic weed? I would love that.
Oh yes, garlic butter weed.
I'll tell you what that was. Somebody in the weed community was like, "Why don't we have more Italians?" I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I could fix this.
It's true though. Like, ugh.
Like, you don't really need to, and I feel like, okay, people want to smoke cigarettes, but I don't know if more people are smoking cigarettes.
Nah, I think it has definitely gone down, but there's people who still. You know what it is? I never liked it, so I don't know what the appeal is at all.
Yeah.
No.
If I said that COVID causes smoking, would you then get vaccinated?
That's a good question. I had to think about that for a minute.
Think about that for us. Okay. And finally, Sex in the City, Peloton fiasco. Now, I have to say to everybody who's listening too, who can't see the visual cues, this is going to contain a lot of spoiler alerts. So if you wanted to watch the new Sex in the City thing, you can kind of bail out here. Thanks so much for watching and or listening. But Sex in the City came out. And I will say this, J-Sabs, I love that they decided to call this iteration of it and Just Like That.
Yes.
Because isn't that how like every episode started, or she said it at some point in every episode?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's kind of a nice little genius move. We spoiled the fact previously that who's the one who Kim Cattrall?
Mm-hmm.
Is that her character name or her real name?
Her real name.
That's right. Samantha something is her character name.
Jones.
She's not friends with her what is it?
Samantha Jones.
Samantha Jones. She's not friends with her anymore. She moved to like England or something.
Yep.
COVID related. Wasn't it?
I don't think so. Okay.
Do you want to take it from here about what the Peloton fiasco was?
Let me just tell you. First off, never has a premiere, spoiler alert, made me cry and sob. Like, honestly.
Why?
First of all,
okay. Does it happen in the first episode or the second episode?
First episode.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was the second. I was misinformed.
And I always watch Sex in the City, and then, and you know what? I always made my then boyfriend, now husband, watch it with me. And last Thursday, I was like, I can't wait. These demons are napping. I just have to jump into the first episode. Watched it, and I was like, and then the second episode, I was like, damn, I'm just gonna put it on too. Just cry, just Styles all alive. Just hysterical. that one of my daughters was like, "Mommy, why are you sad?" I'm like, "The show." And she's like, "Well, then why don't you change it?" And I was
Oh.
like, I can't.
Wait, so you were crying second episode too?
It was, and then my husband came home as I was in the middle of the second episode. He's like, What happened?" Like he thought like maybe somebody died. No joke. Like he thought someone like I knew died. Like he's like, who'd you get bad news for? And I was like, "Ugh." And he's like, I still to this day been with this guy 20 something years. If we're watching something and I cry, I fucking have to hide myself. I'm like, he's gonna fucking rip me a new asshole. And then I'll I'll do one of the, and then I'll just like run to the bathroom, blow my nose, and then come back. I don't know why.
Oh shit.
Or I'll look at him and he'll see me just hysterical. I have a good picture of me crying after the episode because I took it because I was like, oh, I cannot believe my eyes. I had makeup running down my face. So, can I say exactly what happens? I guess so.
Yeah, please go ahead. Well, when does it happen? Does it happen early or towards the end of the episode?
Towards the end of the episode, but I
Okay.
do have to say, as I was scrolling Facebook that day, I kind of got a spoiler, and I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" Like, I want to watch it, and now I have to watch it. Like, right, that's why I have to watch it right now. So, Big, which is Carrie's husband,
Mhm.
which is the guy who she chased after for years, back and forth. He's working out on the Peloton, and you see him sweating and breathing heavy, and he gets off and he has a heart attack and he dies. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, uh-oh. And I was like, maybe he's not really, but he's really dead, which made me just hysterically cry. And then the second episode was the funeral, and that again, just cry and sob and cry. Just take a minute, sip my iced coffee, then I'm okay. The thing that was funny though is that Peloton, they had such a bad response to it. So basically people were saying that he died because he worked out too hard in the Peloton, which is not really true.
The fucking stock slid 11%.
Yes. And so within 48 hours, Ryan Reynolds, which I didn't know he owns his own or manage his own production company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess he hit up Peloton, was like, I have an idea. Let's make an alternate ending or whatever. So they made this. But actually, this girl is actually a real Peloton instructor. And I sort of know her because she dated my friend who worked there, who also got in trouble with the law. But go ahead, go on.
Get out of here. Are you for real?
I'm 100% serious. And you probably know him too. But
I'll have to talk about this after the show. Yeah, so he pops up in this commercial. It's Big and the instructor, and they're talking, and it's pretty funny. Ryan has this little monologue at the end about how and just like that, he's alive again.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the little thing there.
But that girl, she's actually a real instructor, and he didn't really say they dated, but my friend, he went on vacation with her and whatever, and then I saw her. I was like, oh, what's her face? But it was just the response to this. People were going on again. I went down that rabbit hole on Twitter.
Well, I couldn't believe I first saw that Twitter on Twitter it was Peloton stock slides. And it was crazy 11%, and then I saw one then I kind of caught on to everything that was happening, And then this just popped yesterday, I think. Like yesterday afternoon they just threw this out and it was like, "Oh, Ryan Reynolds saves Peloton." But all right, I have a lot of bones to pick here.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. First, which I'm calling total bullshit, because again, we do a lot of advertising and we know that whole background. So the Peloton people are trying to tell us that none of this wasn't product placement, and that this all came together in like 48 hours. I am not buying any of that.
You don't think so?
Total horseshit.
You think that they knew that they were going to get that response?
I think, I don't think that they foresaw the slide.
Okay.
But I do think it was product placement, because supposedly, and this is just what I read from like Adweek, that there were like Pringles in the show, and like a bunch. There was so many and by the way, HBO is famous for product placement, like going all the way back to the Sopranos. Like, now
I have to go back and see.
Oh, there's Snapple in the Sopranos, Staples. There's tons. There's tons. Anyway, so I think that they got that. I think that maybe they did make the commercial fast. But I don't think the idea that they put a Peloton instructor and Peloton in the fucking show, and it was just so happens to be, like, give me a break. Like, I'm not buying that.
I thought it was funny that they put Peloton in that. I thought it was funny that they put it in the show. I did.
Because he could have been on the bike doing it, and they didn't have to say what it was.
Well, the thing was, they talked about the pandemic and being like stuck in their apartment, and how they bought the Peloton, which a lot of people did do. They did do that. So like that was smart, but people went crazy. And then the memes came out too. So
by the way, can I just say that the Anthony on Air merch doesn't hurt anybody. There's a mug right there.
No. Even if you put it up your ass, it won't hurt you.
I've put this mug up my ass.
I know you have.
It's been actually a better experience for everybody involved. Anyway, shopanthonyonair.com. Grab some merch right now. Help support the podcast. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. Yeah, but people did buy it. So I get the storyline. It's just, again, they could have said it or whatever. And then I saw an interview with the Peloton like marketing person. Like, we would never give our product away without getting script approval. Like, relax. If it ain't you, they would go to somebody else. Like, you don't have that much fucking power, Peloton.
Right.
Like, take it easy. So that and the Ryan Reynolds thing is kind of genius, because I mean, he's gonna get a shit ton more business now too.
Oh yeah.
And he has been doing this for a little while with, a lot of it's been his movies and things like that, but or his phone company. He's got like a wireless phone company too that he runs all this shit through. But here's my other problem. Why did they, and again, I'm not a Sex and the City fan. Why did they kill this fucking guy?
I don't know.
He was the whole basis for the whole damn show to begin with. And then they built the movie around marrying him.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't really know. I haven't seen why exactly they decided to do that specific thing, but I was very, very upset.
And then
obviously.
I also don't understand. I mean, the Peloton girl, I get it. She's just looking for a break. But to be Chris, what's his name? North or North?
North.
Why would he agree to this? Like, I feel like they're kind of then shitting on this show by being like, oh, it's just a goof. Like, he can't possibly need the money.
I mean, I don't know. Remember when I saw him and I bumped into him at the airport and I was really creepy when I said to him?
Yes, that's right. I do remember this.
But see, that's the thing. Like, how many years after did the last movie come out? Did I see him, or the show even? And he was still like such a big figure to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're saying, why did he agree to like die, or why did he agree to come back to the show?
Why would he agree? No, why would he agree to do this commercial? So fast after the release of the show?
I think he knows what the fans want. They want to see him alive.
Like, okay, I'll bite, but is that a fuck you to the writers and
Mm,
what's her name to be like, you shouldn't have killed me off on the show.
I don't know. I think him and Sarah Jessica Parker are. I think in real life they should have been together. I think that they secretly do like each other,
Is
like
that
that.
right?
I do. I really do.
Now this is a hell of a take I can get behind.
I really, especially at the premiere the other day, I'm like, just something, And then the rumors about her husband. So I don't know.
Wait, what'd you say about her husband?
The rumors about him, how
Oh,
he's gay.
my uncles say he is.
Yeah, he definitely is.
They back that up.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure they did back it up.
I tried to ask. I'm like, did you see him at a meeting, at a conference? They wouldn't tell me.
No, he is.
I'm not privy to that information.
If you have a chance to go look at the footage from it, the way that they look at each other, you're like, they definitely have bones.
Is it the way that Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper looked at each other when they were singing that song on that award show? Because that was fucking intense. If I was with either one of them, I would have been screaming that night. It would have not been a pleasant night.
What the?
Yeah. I'd have been like, I hope your passionate performance was worth it. Because I'm not fucking sleeping with you anymore.
You don't look at me like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I would have said that.
Yeah, or you would have murdered Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, exactly.
Not. If your husband looked at another woman like that, it would. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine. Honestly, it's like I'm scared for him just thinking about it.
Right, exactly. Thank you.
Anyway, so those are my takes on that. I can't believe they would do that, kill him off, and that just doesn't make any sense.
Did your wife watch it yet, or did she watch that show or no?
No. Oh, she does, but she didn't watch it yet.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Maybe she did. I don't know if she did like on her phone or without me. I that's possible. We haven't really talked a lot. Like we haven't like had a chance to sit down and like conversate in the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah, well,
so I have no idea what's going on.
I gotta text her then and see what she thinks of it.
I'm sure she wants. Now, did they release the whole thing or just a couple of episodes?
Just 2.
And
you know what? I was definitely it's gonna come out every Thursday, I think, 1 episode. I was tempted to say, check on your Sex and the City friends. We're not okay. Last week.
So this came out last Thursday?
Yep.
Because I didn't really hear much about it until over the weekend.
Yep.
It wasn't like there was a lot of talk about this on Friday.
Well, actually, no. Yes, it came out Thursday, but I don't think people realized it was out. That's the whole thing. But damn,
that's huge.
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
I gotta tell you something. I watched Succession, the season finale last night. Unbelievably good.
See, I still never saw 1 episode of that show.
It might be worth watching 3 seasons just to get to this particular episode. That's how good it is. Yeah, it's so good. I'm going to watch it again.
All right.
I watched it. My wife was exhausted. She went right to bed. She couldn't hack, but I was like, I stayed up and watched it, which I'm probably gonna get in trouble for. Like we.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, we were talking before over dinner, and we were talking about a bunch of things that we had to like kind of get out of the way. And I was just like, I have to start the podcast because she's gonna realize I watched Succession without her, and it's gonna be my ass.
Well, it's good that you don't watch this now. Woof.
Did we talk about Elon Musk, or did I skip it?
You skipped it.
All right, let's do 2 minutes on Elon Musk. Times Person of the Year. They got this right. He is technically a person, unlike the Athlete of the Year that they named. This fucking guy, they're talking about him making a phone. There's this rumor swirling around that he's making a Tesla phone.
Oh my God. Okay.
I don't know if he's just fucking with us or what, because it's not being widely reported, but some outlets are kind of talking about it. They're calling it the Model Pi, like Pi.
Okay.
And supposedly it's going to be able to, I mean, this is what he's boasting, this son of a bitch. You gotta kind of love this. It's going to work on Mars. Like any of us who are alive right now are going to have to worry about. Well, what's the reception like on Mars? But he's talking about having a camera in there that could actually take photographs of, I forgot what planet, maybe Saturn maybe, or some shit. Like it would have this like incredible like camera on it, and also the metal of the phone would be made out of this special alloy whatever that would allow it to actually change colors.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Can you fucking imagine that? That's insane. Then he tweets today, SpaceX is starting a program to take CO2 out of the atmosphere and turn it into rocket fuel. Please join if interested.
If he's not good at cunning linguists, I don't know who would be.
Well, okay, I left the last one for a reason.
Cunning linguists.
They asked him during the Time magazine interview if he was still with Grimes, and he said, and I quote, "I'd say probably semi-separated." Her work has her being in different places a lot versus my work. So we're seeing each other. So we weren't seeing each other that much because what she needs to do is mostly in LA or touring, and my work is mostly in remote locations like this. He's referring to Texas, where he is. Does that make any sense to you?
No, I mean, but he doesn't really make much sense. So,
because it's like he said remote, like he could just build like his little rocket factory in California to be near.
Right.
There's no reason not to. I don't know. That's all I got.
It's weird.
Subs. You got anything
It's weird.
else?
No.
I'd like it if Big comes back and he's dating Grimes. That would make me happy. I'd like to see that storyline. You think he's going to come back?
I think that they'll hopefully show like flashbacks of him.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I can't see him coming, which is sad.
What if this is bullshit? What if this is Who Shot JR, Dream Season? We're going to find out last episode. And just like that, I woke up and realized Big was still together with me.
I would be happy then.
I'm calling that right now.
All right, let's see.
That's what I'm calling. I'm calling Dream Season. It's been a long time since somebody ripped off Dallas.
Oh, let's see.
All right. That's it for us. You got anything else?
No.
Jumpstart Coffee, proud sponsor of this episode. Don't forget to order yours. Link in the description below. Great coffee, great cause. 50% of their profits goes to benefit the Navy SEAL Foundation, and you can save 15% off now. December 13th. Still probably enough time to order and get it before Christmas. So place your order right now. Link in the description below or click on the banner at anthonyonair.com. Thanks to JSabs. Catch you guys on the next one.